Hey class, how are you? Just thought I'd point out a few things. I'm with the family and we're in a Chenin Blanc block. It's clone 220 down in the Soyuz for Quails Gate Winery. And just looking at these wines, they look great. This is established 2006, so we're about 15 years old. And it's the original cordon. And obviously we're going to be taking some bud samples. Down here in the Soyuz, it's a little bit cooler. We're just below the crow's nest. And I noticed a little bit of powdery mildew scarring right here. You can see all that scarring here and here. If you come down here, see a little bit more. So this kind of thing here, what we can do is what I do after harvest is a post-harvest lime sulfur spray. And then I would come in just at bud swell, which would probably be the 3rd, 4th week of April, and we'll hit it again with more lime sulfur at a pretty good rate. Lime sulfur is great, but you don't want to be spraying it with green tissue because it's fairly strong. So if there's any powdery mildew that you want to get rid of from the season before, such as this, it's a good thing to do, obviously after pruning. Hey guys, we are now in the Maréchal Foch block here. It's a 1978 planting, so it's 42 years old, and this is, you're looking at Geneva double curtain right here, which is interesting. It's own rooted, so it doesn't have a rootstock, and as you can see, these things are fairly gnarly. What you got here is 2 fruiting wires. They're up top, and what we'll do is we'll promote the fruit zone is going to be right here, and by elevating the fruit zone, its exposure to the sun. If you can see to the west, or sorry, to the east, you get full exposure of sun all the way coming over here, and then you're losing the sun probably around 7 o'clock at night over the west. So yeah, GDC is what it's called. We'll go over that in the canopy lecture, but it's interesting because you can essentially double the amount of fruit. So you've got, typically you'll have 2 canes, 2 cordons right here, 2 cordons right here, doubling down with your canopy falling down to the bottom here. So there'll be no vertical shoot positioning. It's just flopping down like an umbrella. You'll have a heavier canopy, but again, it will support the fruit that you have up here exposed to the sun. Okay, I don't think I said before, I just want you to look at these rows. I'm 6'2", and these rows are 12 feet at least in width. So unbelievably well spaced out. In between the vines, they're almost 6 feet. And then you've got all this real estate here that you won't find. This is very conventional planting. And it's the basis that, you know, these own rooted vines will go down deep, and they require a lot more space. But now we know after 42 years that hey, after 42 years we don't need to give them this much space. Another thing, irrigation. So right here you've got your drip line, and here you have a spaghetti strap or a spaghetti noodle, and then over here, down here, you have what they call is a little microjet. That microjet will feed your cover crop, but also you got your wind fighters. These wind fighters are elevated, and this allows for a great soak down at the end of the season, and for a pretty good soak down pre-season as well. So you get 2 style. You've got your drip irrigation. Well, it's not drip. It's the microjets, and then you're doubling down with an elevated wind fighter that'll probably cover best part of 8 rows. So it's a good combination. Just checking out some equipment here, guys. Mowers, old mowers, but they get the job done. This is one mower, so you get a 3-point hitch right here. 3-point hitch means 3 points of connection with your PTO, which is your power takeoff, and you're running on 1 wheel at the base here, which is kind of nice. So it's a float wheel, but you compare that to this kind of mower where it's got 4 wheels. It still has a 3-point hitch, but again, you'll be having 4 wheels running behind the tractor. Over here, This is your basic weed sprayer right here. So this is 220 liters. It's a rear mount. This is again a PTO shaft, PTO, and that will power your pump, and the pump will feed this. What do you got here? This is your granular fertilizer. It's a fert spreader.
That can spread water.
Exactly, it can spread granular fert, pretty much anything. And again, 3-point hitch. You got your PTO, which power takeoff, and you can actually do your settings and the rates. And then over here is probably for me the most important part of the operation, and this is your turbo mist. Turbo mist, this is an orchard sprayer, and this will come out. It's propelled by air, and these nozzles will come out almost like a fan. So again, for orchards, you can also use them for grapevines. But if you look here, you've got specific switches and you've got different size of nozzles. So that's very important to know, because it will depict how much output you get per nozzle, and usually they're different colors. Also, this is all propelled by PTO. If you come over here, and this is a really simple system. There's your pump, there's your filter right here, and this is your pressure. See the PSI we were talking about, pressure per square inch. So I would say to you guys, okay, make sure you keep it at 150, keep the speed at 5 kilometers an hour, and that will depict the output based on the size of the nozzle that you have for this sprayer. So this is your very typical vineyard sprayer, tried, tested, and true. And then we'll go right into your cab, back of the tractor, on and off. Boom. Pretty simple, but very important part of the operation. Talking about new development. So this is classic. We've got line posts, and again, you wouldn't find this in an organic operation. Why? Because this has been treated. It's pressure treated wood. You'll see steel in organic sites, and this is pressure treated PT. This just happens to be from Princeton Wood Preservers, and this is your classic size of line post. It's 5-inch in diameter. Yeah. Hey guys, last thing I want to point out, this is your classic sand filter station. What does a filter do? It filters out any sediment, debris that's coming in before you're actually going to be pumping it through your irrigation system. The way it works is you've got your valves over here. That looks to be like a 6-inch coming up. So you can imagine the amount of pressure that's going to be coming into here. And you have what they're called pressure release valves. That being, if it's over pressure, then you'll start seeing water spurting out of these things, because it will detect it's higher than what the actual filter wants. Typically these filters, you want to be coming in about 90 to 100 PSI. And what it does, it's automated. So as you've got your water, it goes through these filters, and it's got a back flushing system, and when it back flushes, it cleans out all your sand. So what you see here is constant pressure going in, pressure coming out, and going in and feeding your entire vineyard. But every half hour to an hour, depending on what you set up, you've got an automated backwashing situation, where if you have dirty water coming in, especially in the springtime with the runoff, the canals getting dirty, you'll notice these gum up quite a bit. Once they gum up, they're useless. So you put it on maybe a 15 to 20 minute interval for backwashing. That way you're cleaning your sand, and you'll see that little pipe right there that's clear? That's your marker, and that'll tell you whether or not you've got dirty water or not. And after you backwash, you'll see that, and how it runs right into the ground. You'll see a lot of dirt, grime, and debris come out there. So again, simple sand filters. I love them because there's not a whole lot that can go wrong. It's pretty basic, and it's got that back flushing situation too.